Okay, hey y'all, welcome again. So my name is West, and we are here for a discussion and presentation on the significance of 3I Atlas. Um, the overview of our time together is we'll be together about 90 minutes, 90 or so. We do like to honor everyone's time and end when we said we would end. So yeah, we aim for that. So I'm gonna give us a little context and give us a meditation and prayer. I'm going to turn it over to Kent, my co-facilitator, and he's going to introduce our presenter, who is Amanda. She's going to tell us about 3I Atlas, and then we're going to open it up for discussion. And so most of the time will be discussion. There's been times that I've said that in the past, and then we've had a little bit more presentation than we expected, but this should be a fairly brief synopsis of this topic, and then a lot of time for, yeah, for discussion. Any questions before we move on? Cool. Okay, so the culture of this call. So this is a salon series called Sharing the Path, and we like to really cultivate a specific way of being with one another that honors free will as one of our foundational principles. So Amanda, for instance, is going to be presenting some ideas that may be her own, that may also be not her own, that she's, found out there. And none of this means that we have to agree with it. We don't necessarily have to agree with Amanda. We don't have to agree with any of the other information that she is presenting to us. So feel free to use your own guidance system, find what resonates for you, let things that don't resonate for you roll off your back. And, sort of the reverse is true at the same time. If you feel strongly about something, great, beautiful, have that. Like you're welcome to that, but don't try to then convince anyone else, please, of your position. Feel free to share it and share that you feel strongly about it. But we're honoring everyone, is free to leave this call with their own perspective, their own idea of what is real and true. Yeah, I think that's kind of all of the principles rolled into one. Um, okay, so now let's have a little moment of meditation and prayer to move us cleanly and clearly into our container. So I invite us just to connect with ourselves, connect with yourself however you do. Creator, we open in love. Guide us in love. Guide us in wisdom. We thank you for supporting us in the balance of love and wisdom, guiding our path. We thank you, guides and allies, guardians and angels. We thank you for being with us on our journeys and being with us, especially during this conversation. May this conversation be beneficial for those gathered here. and beneficial to those who may view it or listen later. May any benefit that's gained ripple out, radiate out, and benefit the entire collective. And may we remember to see Creator in everything that unfolds around us. In these continuing roller coaster times, the beautiful ups and the confusing, devastating downs. Thank you for supporting us to continue to see you, Creator, in all of it. Thank you. Amen. All right, and now I hand it over to Kent.
Welcome, Caroline. I think I've said hi to everybody else. So, who's Amanda? Well, Amanda's just a girl who likes a comet, and she's going to give us a presentation on it. That was Amanda's joke. She said that when I asked her for a biography. But yeah, she's much more than that, actually. She currently holds TOTOH together, basically together with West, and is keeping things rolling in our organization, for which I and many of us are very grateful. Thank you, Amanda. And she wrote a little biography here. I'm going to read it to you because it's perfect, so I don't need to edit it or anything. Amanda Seta is a mother, cat mom, and spiritual seeker, and has been a member of TOTOH since its early days. Professionally, she offers services as an energy healing practitioner and past life regressionist, helping people connect with the higher self, spirit guides, and unseen helpers. In many of these sessions, people have described being in non-human bodies on other planets. This continues to inspire more wonder and curiosity about what else exists in our galaxy and beyond. And so, therefore, her interest in 3i Atlas, which comes from beyond our solar system. So, Amanda, take it away.
Thank you so much, Kent. And thank you, West, for that beautiful prayer. I think the best way for me to start is with a little bit of a disclaimer, which you joked about, Kent, which is that I'm just a girl who's been following this comet for a little bit. I'm not an astronomer or an astrophysicist, so this is just me speaking in a very non-professional capacity. And with that, any of you who have also been following 3i Atlas, if you notice anything that I say that you want to elaborate on or even potentially correct, by all means, please do. This is just, it's been a little side hobby of mine for the last couple of months. And so I'm really excited to share what I've learned so far and geek out with you all tonight. But before I begin, I do want to invite the energy, the entity, the being that is 3i Atlas into this conversation. This interstellar visitor. Because from what I've been studying so far and from what I can tell, almost everything that there is to learn about 3i Atlas is speculative. You know, its size, its speed, its trajectory, what it's doing here, where it came from. There are a lot of really good guesses about all of that, but at best, it's speculation. And so I think the only way to really get to know this entity is for us to connect with it directly. And so inviting Three Eye Atlas into the conversation as well. I'll share with you some of the interesting pieces of information that I have gathered so far. So let's see here. I'm going to share this screen with you. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. So this is just some information I've been collecting. I can have this PDF available for you on the Sharing the Path Telegram channel. I'll post it there after tonight. But to start off, what is Three Eye Atlas? It is classified as a comet, but if you look at the definition of a comet, comets are said to originate within our solar system. And Three Eye Atlas originates from most likely 5 billion light years away. And so it comes from very, very far away, way outside of our solar system. And it's just a visitor. It's just passing through. It is given the name Three Eye Atlas because it is the third known interstellar visitor. So as long as we've been paying attention and categorizing everything in our solar system, this is the third that we know so far that comes from outside of our solar system. The first one was Oumuamua, and that was in 2017. The second one we named Borisov after its discoverer, and that was in 2019. And now Three Eye Atlas, the third, was discovered this last July from the Atlas, the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Blast Alert System, which is an organization in Chile. So like I said, it was discovered July 1st of this year, but it has been in our solar system, we assume, for about 5 years. It was just back in July that we finally discovered it. So it is estimated that Three Eye Atlas could be as large as 3.5 miles wide. It's estimated that it could be as small as 144 yards wide, I believe. So it's a really big, it's really hard to know just how big or how small it is. And none of the equipment that NASA or anybody else has can get a more accurate reading than that. So it could be 3.5 miles or it could be 144 yards. We may know, we may not know. Also, the size of it can shrink or expand depending on what's being emitted from it. It is off-gassing constantly, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and so on. It is said that to be traveling about 137,000 miles per hour, which is about twice the velocity needed to not get sucked into the gravitational pull of our solar system. When it was closest to the sun, because of the gravitational pull of the sun, it increased in speed all the way up to 153,000 miles per hour, but has since left and slowed back down, and it's about at 137,000 miles per hour again, which is probably what it will stay at as it finishes its travels throughout our solar system. So one very interesting thing about 3I Atlas is that it is emitting a jet stream toward the direction of motion, especially when it was closer to perihelion. It is going toward the sun. So, we think of these comets as these big glowing rock balls with this kite behind it. So one interesting thing about 3I Atlas was that the kite was in front of rather than behind. I haven't seen the more recent pictures that I've seen of 3I Atlas is that it just looks like a rock with a growing halo all around it. So I'm not really sure whether the kite part is behind it or in front of it right now. Another interesting thing about this is that the metals inside of it are composed more primarily of nickel rather than iron, which indicates that it's from farther away than most of the comets that we have seen and take note of in our solar system. One thing that I found out today is that 3I Atlas, since we've been following it since July, the hue around it has been changing colors. It has glowed blue, it has glowed green, and it has even had a reddish hue at times. And from what I understand, from some of the experts are saying, this is not usual. It's not usual comet behavior for it to change colors, but it is changing colors. It is also the colors seem to be at this pulse where it gets brighter and then it dims, and then it gets brighter and then it dims. That has not been recorded in other comets either. So again, there's a lot of curiosity surrounding what causes that. Now, since it's been moving farther away from the sun again, it has been getting a little bit dimmer, steadily dimmer and dimmer. But it still has this pulse to it that is said to be like a heartbeat that pulses at a 16.16 hour pulse. Another very interesting thing is that out of its tail, it's also emitting plasma, which indicates that there may be organic life associated with it. We don't know. It's speculation. That may also indicate that it has an electrical nature to it, which again, it seems like it's so much more than just a rock floating through space. As far as how it's traveling, if we think of our solar system as a flat plane and our sun in the middle, and then all of the planets along this flat elliptical plane, the 3I Atlas has come through at almost an exact, even trajectory as the plane of our solar system. It's about 5 degrees off, so it's very minimal. And during its travels through our solar system, it has passed by many of the inner and soon to be outer planets. It started off closer to Mars, and then the sun, and then Venus. And in about a week from now, it's the closest that it'll be to Earth. And then eventually it'll travel out, get close to Jupiter before exiting our solar system. So the fact that it's only about 5 degrees off from the elliptical plane is also highly unusual. The chances of that happening are so rare. So that has brought up a lot of speculation, as though it is a visitor who's coming to check out our solar system because it's doing this cute little flyby to all of the planets. Um, Another interesting fact is that there are a bunch of comets that are native to our solar system that have also been dancing around 3I Atlas. And when I say dancing, I mean they're just doing their usual, orbit around the sun as well. But there have been many that are also active and or taking note of right now at the same time as this interstellar visitor is coming through. And the last thing I'll say is, as far as its unusual characteristics, is that in the few days surrounding perihelion, and perihelion is when it was closest to the sun erupted in a number of really big coronal mass ejections. So there were a bunch of solar flares, and they were all directed right at 3I Atlas. And so it was almost as if the sun itself was communicating with 3I Atlas, and that there was information coming back and forth between the sun and 3I Atlas. So with all of these things happening, we can say that they're coincidence, but what are the chances that there are that many anomalies? And what do we make of it? One other very interesting note is that NASA does have a page about 3I Atlas. But according to NASA's own website, it says that 3I Atlas's characteristics, its color, speed, and direction are all consistent with what we would expect from a comet, which from what I gather is actually doesn't seem very accurate to me. So it's funny that what it seems like is that NASA's kind of downplaying it. But also the kind of funny thing about NASA is that the pictures that NASA has produced about 3I Atlas, I show it as this little glowing blue dot, but there are actually a lot better pictures that are available by amateur astronomer photographers than NASA. So a question remains is, why is NASA's photo equipment not really up to the task of helping us to really explore 3I Atlas? Oh no. So that is the scientific part that I wanted to express. And now I want to get into a little bit more of the spiritual and symbolic significance of 3I Atlas. The approach of 3I Atlas coincides with a series of meaningful celestial alignments. Its superior conjunction occurred on October 21st, which was the same day as the Libra new moon and Neptune's retrograde back into Pisces. From an astrological perspective, it had this signature or symbolizing a return back to the heart. Many view 3I Atlas as a messenger of awakening, of an upgrade in consciousness, here to accelerate and expand human consciousness. That this is a messenger from afar, here to help to expand and awaken human consciousness. People believe that it has significance that correlates to the Hopi prophecy of the blue star Kachina. And a lot of that has to do with the color variation going from red to blue. This period echoes in energetic shifts that are similar to the 2012 harmonic convergence, a time of great awakening on the planet. A few of the people that I've been paying attention to, one is Pam Gregory, who's an astrologer. And what she has done is she she did an astrological chart for Three Eye Atlas at its perihelion. And what she gathered from that, again, was this idea of elevating consciousness on the planet, a time of great transformation, leading us back to unity and oneness. Another person who's been speaking quite a lot about it is Kelly Kalodny. She gets her information from Archangel Raphael, who she has been channeling, I think, since the 1990s. She recently channeled and spoke directly with Three Eye Atlas. And what she emphasized was that the period of time is very significant, that Earth has been going through a gestational period of time since the spring equinox now to the winter solstice. In this gestational period, the birthing that happens on the winter solstice, when Three Eye Atlas comes closest to Earth, we can receive that as an opportunity to birth into our own divinity, into our oneness. And so when she was channeling Archangel Raphael, she got the message to really use this time to go into the dark, go into the darkness and the stillness, go through that birthing process and allow the energy of Three Eye Atlas to help to elevate all of us into a higher consciousness. The next person that I was paying attention to was Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar. He says that Three Eye Atlas is a comet, though it has extraterrestrial technology, is what Bashar was saying. He says that it is a messenger that is here as a practice, in part to see how humanity responds to visitors from outside of the solar system, just to kind of take the pulse on humanity and see how we respond to the potential of extraterrestrial visitors. So I would like to hear what you all have to say about that. Real quick, I'm just going to give you some key dates so we know what has been going on with Three Eye Atlas as far as its movement through our solar system. Like I said, it's been in our solar system for about 5 years now, but it was just discovered on July 1st. On October 4th, it was as close as it would get to Mars. On October 21st, it created a superior conjunction with the Earth and the Sun. On November 3rd was its closest encounter to Venus. And now on December 19th, it'll be as close as it will get to the Earth, which is about 1.8 astronomical units. And an astronomical unit is a measurement which measures 1 astronomical unit is the equivalent of the distance between the Earth and the Sun. So 1.8. So it's about 1.8 times the distance from the Earth to the Sun. And the last date of significance is March 16th, which is when it'll have its closest encounter to Jupiter, and then it'll be off and gradually exit our solar system after that. Well, thank you so much for listening to that presentation. And now I would just like to open the floor for discussion, and I'll let West and Kent take over from here.
Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. That was great.
Yeah, super, super helpful. I really appreciate the excitement that you seem to have about it and your willingness to look into mysterious matters of the cosmos and share your ideas with us. Yeah, and I think we can open the floor. Is there something in particular you had in mind, Kent?
Well, yeah, one thing I wanted to mention was Amanda mentioned the coronal mass ejections that were aimed at 3I Atlas. I wanted to add to that normally you would expect a coronal mass ejection hitting a comet to have some significant impact on the comet. But in this case, it didn't seem to have any kind of destructive effect on 3I Atlas, which I think surprised many. Is that right, Amanda?
Yeah, that's right. It didn't really change trajectory, speed.
It didn't break it up or anything. Or maybe it did break it up.
It could. I guess we might not ever know just because the size of it is so speculative and it
Mm.
off cases all the time.
Mhm.
So, but as far as we know, it didn't really change the trajectory or change the speed of it at all.
One more thing. I'm fascinated with the topic of the Hopi prophecy and the red Kachina and the blue Kachina. So I think it's very interesting that it's been shifting and changing between red and blue, because the Hopi prophecy prophesizes both a blue Kachina followed by a red Kachina, heralding the planets and humanity moving into the fifth world. Do you have any more information on that, Amanda?
Not really. I read a couple of paragraphs about it a couple of months ago. So if you have any information or if anybody else does, I would love to hear it.
I can read a little bit. I asked Brock about it. So the Hopi prophecy includes 9 signs that they were expecting to appear to them. The first was the arrival of white-skinned people. That's pretty obvious what that means. And then there are 7 more signs. And then the final 9th sign is the, is the appearance of the blue star Kachina. But then that is followed by the red star Kachina. And this heralds the day of purification and the entering into the fifth world, as they call it. So whatever that means. Yeah. I mean, we don't know if 3i Atlas is actually blue star Kachina, but I think it's fascinating to speculate about. Anybody else has any comment or question? Raise your hand.
Go ahead, Natalie.
Hey y'all.
Hi, Natalie.
Hey.
Hi. Thanks, Amanda. Yeah, I've been curious about the Hopi prophecy and what that means. So thanks for adding some info about that, Kent. So I watched a video that was posted in the I don't know, somewhere in Toto, if it was Sharing the Path or resources. And I think Farrelyn posted it, and it was a guy's report of his experience of astral traveling to 3i Atlas. Did anybody else listen to that?
Do it, yeah.
Okay. Well, so he started by saying astral travel is super subjective, or what you discover in the astral is super subjective, which I appreciated the disclaimer. And then he told a story of like entering a craft where there were like Federation beings and these like neutral, not negative, not malicious, like scientist vibe kind of beings who were just like checking out the reaction, basically. So that aligns with some of what you shared, Amanda. And from one of the channelers' perspectives, I guess, Kim, the Kolodny gal. But he also said that there was a black cube and that it was drawing to it. It was vacuum is the word that he used. It was sucking, and what it was taking in was attention, basically. So like all of us being like, ooh, it's running on that is the story that he came up with. And even though the beings weren't malicious, like the vibe was a little bit like, you know, like we're being experimented on or whatever. Like that was the story that he told. But so the thing that I'm chewing on from it and that I think is interesting is based on when we were all together talking about this and we dropped in and did a little meditation. I know we were reporting on our experience. I don't totally remember if this was like a collective grokking or if it was just my perspective that it was sweeping, and it felt like it was like sweeping through our solar system and like vacuuming up my perspective was like an undigested shadow material, like the drain is clogged, we need help, you know, and it was coming through to like kind of help clean up some stuff. And so yeah, so that's, I just am fascinated by that overlap and the sort of worldview that we're each coming from. Like I'm like, yay, they're coming to help, and he's like, they're experimenting on us. And the sucking or drawing energy being kind of at the center of it. And then when you just Kent shared that we're approaching, according to that prophecy, the day of purification, like that just adds another layer to the story that I'm building about what it's doing. So
I love your story.
Thanks. I kind of just wanted to come and see if anybody else had any, you know, evidence for my story or any arguments against it. You know, like, have you like, was that a collective experience? Who was there? Does anybody have anything else to report on this?
I remember resonating with that story. Yeah, and Natalie's referring to, we had an in-person gathering where we also talked about 3A Atlas. I guess it was a month and a half ago. No, it was in October. So yeah, it was maybe even 2 months ago about this topic. Yeah, I remember resonating with that. I didn't personally specifically get that same information, but what I was connecting with resonated or felt like compatible with that. So that's my memory.
He
Thanks.
was there too. And what I got, I mean, I didn't get a whole lot, but I got a very positive feeling about it when we all tuned into it. I got a very positive, loving feeling, vibe from it.
Yeah, I did too. Like angelic for sure.
Yeah, right.
One
Thanks.
thing that, oh, I'm just jumping. One thing that's been said about it is that it's the great amplifier. Like, so whatever it is that we're experiencing, whether we're, you know, vibrating high with light, you know, whether we're really doing our work, or whether we're in a fear state, whatever it is that we're experiencing, it's an amplifier of our experience.
Well, when you reported that it was going to pass by Jupiter on March 16th, I was like, oh, well, that Jupiter is the amplifier. So like that's going to like whatever tracks have been laid, you know, whatever seeds have been planted or whatever is going to like get bigger and hopefully more positive by that Jupiterian contact, I suspect.
What date was that?
March 16th.
March 16th.
Which is approximately equinox.
Yeah, close to equinox. Yeah, spring equinox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah. It's coming closest to Earth, approximately solstice, and then closest to Jupiter, approximately equinox.
I think exactly solstice.
Is it exactly?
If I'm correct, I believe solstice is the 19th this year.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
You know, it wiggles a little bit. It's
Yeah.
not always
Mhm.
first. I think it's the 19th. So I think that's exact, which
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been going the same speed the whole time or no?
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
I mean, it's been, from what I understand, it has been going at a very steady speed, like almost, in an anomalous sort of way, a very steady speed. And then as it came closer to the sun, it sped up. And now that it's going farther from the sun, it's slowing back down to its really steady speed again.
I mean, the math, that it would take to figure out the route and the trajectory and the speed
Yeah.
to hit all those planets on the day. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Amanda, is there any speculation as to the trajectory after it comes toward Jupiter in March? Is there any speculation on what happens after that?
No, nobody's really talking about what happens after Jupiter. It seems like it's just going to continue to exit the solar system.
Mm.
It came in from the direction of Sagittarius, so it seems like it'll be probably going out in the direction, what's opposite of Sagittarius? Um, yeah, I'll have to look at the wheel, but almost directly across the, but maybe with a slight angle as it goes around the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are there any speculations as to like from the sources that you were quoting, like Bashar and Pam Gregory, what we can expect as it approaches Earth? Um, this is what, next week?
Yeah.
What are they saying as far as energies, or are they putting out any ideas?
The sources that I have been paying most attention to are Kelly Kalodny and Pam Gregory, and Bashar. But what it seems like everybody is expecting is just a real harmonization, like a really beautiful energy, and uplifting energy. Um,
Okay.
yeah, that it's going to just help us to remember who we really are, like our own divinity. So it's
Mm,
bringing in a remembrance of sorts,
mm,
which one thing that Kelly Kalani was saying, that she said that some people say it coincides with the Kali Yuga, or that this year has been coinciding with the end of Kali Yuga, back around the spring
mm.
equinox, which I tried to confirm that online and I could not confirm that. So we'll take it if we want to take it.
Yeah.
But that with the end of the Kali Yuga is sort of like it's the farthest that we feel from our divinity, from source. It's just like our experience of separation and aloneness. And now we're coming back, and this time is what
Mm,
she's saying is like our rebirth back into our knowing of ourselves.
mm. Is Kelly in Australia? Is she the one I'm thinking of?
I don't think that she has an Australian accent.
Okay, then it's not who I'm thinking of. There's somebody else with that name. Um, yeah, I've just seen a couple of flicks of stuff appearing, on my phone about December 19th, but I didn't really go digging. I knew the Earth time frame was coming up soon, but I didn't know what the dates were approximately. I find it interesting too, just as a random side note about NASA and the lack of information. um, are the because I want to know who is tracking like all of the like the facts, like you're talking about 5 degrees parallel and the dates it's going to be. Is this information that's generally coming from NASA?
Uh, NASA, if you go to their website, they do have a little bit of information on it. They've
A
got
little.
a FAQ page, so you can get some basics there, and that's great. They had a live stream shortly after the shutdown ended to talk about Three Eye Atlas, and um, most people thought that it felt really dry and insufficient compared to the vast amount of information that that non-government experts are coming up with. So I think my greatest source of information and the guy that just seems the most knowledgeable is a content creator on YouTube. His name is Stefan Burns. He's a geophysicist.
Mhm.
He's really tracking just everything that makes it spectacular and all of the movements of it. And he's just really knowledgeable. So I've learned a lot just watching his videos.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
I-
also there's also a remote viewer named Birdie, um, who did a series of remote viewing sessions on 3i Atlas, and she apparently didn't know what she was. She was just given, when they do remote viewing, they will sometimes just give them a string of numbers or coordinates or whatever. So she didn't even know at first what she was remote viewing. And what she came up with was very interesting. She said, it's basically a natural object originally, but it's been modified by some civilization. And there's a crystal in it, according to her. And the crystal contains a storage of everything about that civilization, where it came from. Now, I don't know if NASA or anybody, I don't think anybody's planning to board the comet and retrieve the crystal or anything like that. But if that's true, it sounds very interesting, right?
Mm.
Is there anybody else who has studied or heard anything else about it? Josh, I know you're very interested in this kind of stuff. Are you there?
Yeah. I wanted to share the website that you shared too, Josh, but go ahead and share if you've got something to say.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for the sharing the information. I find it fascinating. A woman from our group, Angelina, shared that link in our group chat, so I forwarded it along here. I love the visual aspect of watching the trajectory. I did watch the Bertie Jaworski series of remote viewings of the three of them, I think. And yeah, that was fascinating how like it was a whole planetary civilization that decided to just stop reproducing and go extinct and stop reproducing. So they put all of their knowledge and science and experience and memory and all of their data in a consciousness format into this crystal, and it was embedded inside the natural rock, asteroid, or whatever. And as it's spinning, it's like broadcasting, like a radio broadcast, the consciousness wave or consciousness stream of all that data. Like you can connect to its Wi-Fi and read its hard drive, which is the whole resources of the whole civilization. That's just like, here's our memory, we're gone now. And it was from a long time ago, closer to the center of the universe than we are. It's been traveling out. We're on one of the arms of the spiral in the Milky Way, far out, and kind of like a message in a bottle, I think she kind of says. But yeah, kind of sad, right? That they're, if that's the case, I don't know. Not saying that's correct, but very interesting.
Mm. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I'd like to also share let me just share my screen for a minute and I'll share so everybody can see what Josh shared. Um, yeah, and then so this is I rewound the calendar. So this is 16th of November, approximately where 3i Atlas was. And then I'll click play, and then you can see that the date is changing. So right there is about today. Yeah, so it'll continue to move and get closer to Jupiter.
Yeah, it got really, really close to Mars and really close to Jupiter relatively. It
Yeah.
didn't seem too close to the sun or Earth. Um,
And also, in I think July of next year, not 26, 27, it's going to be getting relatively close to Uranus also. And before it even come into the inner solar system, it already went by Pluto.
Fascinating. Wow.
It won't get a good look at Neptune though. That was the only one. Neptune and Saturn.
It's missing those. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Ed, you
Pretty high
shared.
odds though, if you actually think about it. You know, the odds of that.
You mean getting close to so many planets?
Yeah, it's like, 7 out of 9 or whatever. That's pretty good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it seems really orchestrated. Yeah. Almost like there's some intelligence behind everything. Um, Ed, I'm curious if you'd like to share anything about the podcast that you shared. No pressure.
Hello. Yeah, I have to be quiet because I can't be too loud where I am. But so we started a little channeling group a while ago, and we were channeling Confederation sources, and people in the group, lots of them asked questions about 3i Atlas, as we were, during our practice, basically. They kind of painted a picture where they didn't really give too much away. It's kind of, what they're like, it's free will and law of confusion and all that, but they kind of painted it that the sun and the earth are going through a kind of a transition period, and we're going through like a crazy bit of space where we're getting lots and lots and lots of different energies kind of interacting one on top of another. So like I think they described it as like a cosmic baptism or something like that, where we're going through all of these different energies that are affecting the planet, that are affecting the consciousness of the whole solar system. And 3i Atlas's orbit is very kind of precise and exact to go through and cause very precise, very exact changes where they need to be made so that it can get like the best course through this weird area of space or whatever. That's kind of how, that's the best way I can describe it, I suppose. So that it's like this: the sun knows where it's going and it's taking us the best route it can, but the slight adjustments needed to be made, and that's what 3i Atlas has kind of done, flying past, so that it can kind of like ride the, I don't know. It described it like it was like riding a river, kind of thing, I suppose. I'll let you read the channeling stuff yourself. Like it's weird afterwards. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can only kind of take what you take from what they say, but that's the kind of picture they painted, because people asked me quite a few times, and they didn't really say that much about the Atlas itself, but they did speak about how there's lots and lots and lots of events, 3i Atlas being one of, that are all coming together to give this kind of baptism and this kind of this birth into the fourth density that we're going through at the minute. This transformation. Um, that's the overall message that I kind of took from it. There's lots of little nuances in there if you want to go and listen to it though. And yeah, I think that really kind of resonated with me, because I think there has been so much like incredible changes and you know uh, heavenly correspondence, everything linking up and conjunctions all over the place. We are going through a very crazy period, astrologically. So I think that the three atlas just being one of many beautiful, incredible baptisms that the planet and the sun are going through. Anyway, yes. I was going to say we did a remote viewing thing on it as well at one point. Fred and a few of us did. Obviously, you know what it's like with remote viewing. You can never really be very sure of it because I can't actually go there. But I saw people on it, and I saw it being kind of like a vessel, more like a flying home for these people that look humanoid. And it's like they knew that they were coming here like for a specific reason. So yeah, it was it's a very very interesting thing. Anyway, I really appreciate all the information given, and thank you ever so much for the for yeah, this has been lovely. Thank you. Sorry for chatting. I was getting all nervous about this stuff. You guys are wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Ed. Any comments on what he shared? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, it does resonate with another thing that Kelly Kolodny was saying. That just yesterday was 12/12, which from a numerology perspective, 12/12 is 144. She said that was like a Christ consciousness, and that with the birth of humanity right now is this birth portal that is given to us from with the divine feminine energies. And so we're merging this Christ consciousness with the divine feminine energies. And so it does feel like bringing us back to union and bringing us back to unity. I don't know what Ed was saying that reminded me of that, but it does feel like there are a lot of things happening right now that are all just feel really significant timing wise.
Yeah.
For me, I loved the fact that it kind of it shows that we're all on a journey. The sun's on a journey, we're on a journey following it. We're all on our own journeys on this ball following the sun flying through space. And even our sun, our logos, needs a little kind of steering here and there and a little kind of like helping hand. And that's kind of how I see Three Eye Atlas. As that little instigator that's given us the necessary, alterations that we all need to go, or the entire solar system needed to go through in order to find our way through this white water area of the galaxy or whatever. I love that as an idea. Like it's a little navigator. Anyway, sorry.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Fred and Dan were like two of the people that asked those questions. So I'm assuming that they'd have some kind of response about this as well. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, great. Fred or Dan, do you want to comment?
Yes. Thank you for calling me out. No. Thank you. Yeah, from the remote viewing session, I do remember a lot of talk about life, presence, and feeling like an aura of just life. But for me personally, I felt like the green energy, which could be love, and that's what I remember. It's some kind of inside there's like energy radiating, life radiating from the inside of the asteroid or the Three Eye Atlas. But that's all I remember. But thank you for allowing me to share.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Thank you. So it sounds like a lot of us are picking up on positive vibes from Three Eye Atlas.
Yeah, I definitely have
Linda?
positive associations.
Yeah, Linda, go ahead.
Yeah, I will say that what resonates with me is that it's coming through to make us realize that there's more to life, and it's waking us up. That really resonates with me. And I don't really know a whole lot about it, but I appreciate all of y'all's input, and I've learned a lot.
Thank you for being here. I'm sorry, Wes. Did I interrupt you? What were you saying?
That's okay. Yeah, I was just I don't even remember.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
it's okay.
Well, one thing that always struck me since the first I heard of this was I just think of Three Eye Atlas as this benevolent being um, that is a giant consciousness, you know, moving through space, but it's here to help. Like there's never been anything that resonated with me in terms of fear or, you know, what the heck's going on here? This is scary. Is it gonna? Because there's certainly been a lot of that narrative that has swirled around that maybe it's going to crash into Earth, you know, all these hypotheticals. But I just keep coming back to this gentle reminder from the universe that this is a benevolent being and it's here to help. And if you tap into that, if you as in me, if I tap into that energy, then all feels well. You know, there's nothing to fear, so to speak. But I look at this as a helper. You know, like what was the term vacuuming that you used, Amanda, in your presentation? That's kind of how I feel like doing doing some tinkering, like this giant helper that's swishing through space and time and all of that, just with a like a big fairy wand. It's just here to help us. And there's a reason why this benevolent being is touching in such a close proximity to all these planets. I feel like, you know, I don't have to know all the reasons or the minutia. I just tap into the feeling that this is a loving, maybe even sentient being. I don't know. I have a very beautiful resonance with this as a higher conscious being that's here to bring us to another level, you know, and just to tap into that energy. But I've never felt like I needed to join the fear-based train on this topic. It's just that's why I was really curious, where's it going to go after Earth? Is it just doing its thing and, you know, coming on stage for a little while and then it's going to exit? But I do come back to the wondering of like NASA's being so quiet, and perhaps I don't really need to know that, but what is it? What is that about? I'm wondering. But again, it comes back to anything to do with the government. So I'll leave it there. So,
I'm glad you,
yeah.
Caroline, because I want to talk about the NASA piece too. And I think it's just as
Oh,
likely that they don't know what the heck is going on
okay.
as that they know a bunch of stuff that they're not telling us. I
Or
mean, I'm
maybe they don't know anything and they don't have anything to tell us. Like I kind of feel like this is a whole thing that involves one being tapped into like a higher level of consciousness. And I don't look at NASA as a high level of consciousness. I just don't. That's my opinion. So maybe they don't know shit and they're just being closed-lipped. So all they can do is spout out a few photos and rely on the super sleuths, you know, to go out there and find the truth, so to speak. But if they came out with something, I'm not sure if I'd even believe it. So I'm more inclined myself to follow, follow what feels truthful to me. And it's not going to come from a four-letter agency. That's all I can say.
Strange though that they don't have better photos of it. I mean, private
Still,
individuals, there seem to be private individuals who have better photos of it than NASA, which is very strange. You know,
It
and
very
almost
strange.
looks like they don't want us to know what they know.
maybe
Mhm.
NASA's fake.
It's like the Wizard of Oz. There's like one person behind the curtain.
Like everything that they've released in the past however many
Yeah,
years has been like CGI. And now they're like, well, I don't know.
yeah, right. Yeah, there's a long track record there of the wizard effect. So leave it there. Hmm.
Hi
Diana,
everyone.
yeah,
Hi.
jump in.
I've loved this chat. I've been struggling with this topic because there's so many things that I've been reading like, oh, there's just like this psyop around Three Eye Atlas, or no, it's this being, or yes, it's here to um, help humanity. level up in consciousness. And the route I want to go and take is that we all need a little bit of help in our own personal ascension, and that's why this being is coming through. So, yeah, I want to take the more positive side of it. So, thank you, Amanda, for sharing, and it's so lovely to see everybody. And when the conversation was happening, and you're sharing about the solar flares being directed at the vessel, the image that came to mind was like, oh, it's recharging from the energy of the sun that way, and it gets to take that energy so that it can make its way to the next star system. That's just what came to my mind when that part of the conversation came up. And then with the Hopi story lining up and with numerology lining up, it just made more things click for me. 2025 is a 9-year cycle where we're closing something. And then 2026 is known as the Great Beginning. So I feel like there's all these synchronicities of this vessel coming in with all these timings, and there's just got to be so much more here. And I know tonight in particular is a really cool night. As a side note for all of us to look up in the sky. I don't know if anyone else is aware of big meteor shower that's happening tonight. I'm in Ontario, so from 12 to 5 a.m. tonight it's supposed to be a really big show in the sky if you've got a clear night. So to put that out there as well for anyone that might be interested in that. But yeah, thank you for this conversation. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Diana. Thank you for the tip about the meteor shower. I had not heard. Yeah, I also found it fascinating with the solar flares or CMEs hitting the comet. It's like they're interacting. I mean, I consider the sun to be highly conscious and aware, you know. The law of one material says our sun is the sublogos in our part of the universe, galaxy, you know. It's a sublogos for our solar system. So it's basically the closest to the creator in our solar system. And I think it's very highly conscious and aware. So to me, there's no way that those CMEs hitting 3i Atlas could have been a coincidence, because I think anything the sun does is done consciously. None of it is by accident. Also, there was a video I saw online a couple of times that allegedly was taken by Japanese astronomers of 3i Atlas, where it was kind of flashing. It was like flashing light in a very precise, rhythmic fashion. It looked very artificial. Now, these days, you never know if a video is real or if it's created by AI. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that video. But if it is genuine, it looked fascinating. It looked like a totally artificial object.
Yeah, interesting.
Does anybody know more about that video? Has anybody else seen it? No?
There've been loads and loads of videos that and film and photos that I'm not sure I trusted since this whole thing started. To be fair, I've tried to kind of keep myself out of the whole all information about it completely. Really, I was kind of like left it to the Confederation to tell me what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause, 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 yeah.
One of the things that was interesting for me that Amanda shared was I wanted to ask her a question about it. She had to pop away for a moment. Seems like she might have a personal uh situation going on. Um, but yeah, she said there was evidence of plasma, something like that, and that might be a sign of biological life. Did anybody track that? That was really interesting.
That, but I don't understand what it means.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I'd really like to ask about that too.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, she's back.
Yeah, let's ask her.
I'm
Did you
back.
happen to hear that, Amanda?
No, I didn't. I didn't. What were you saying?
I was just saying one of the things that I was really interested in that you had shared was something about plasma being a sign of biological life. Do you have more information about that?
I tried to dive into it and I couldn't get much, like I couldn't get anything else that I felt intelligent enough to share about.
Yeah.
But that plasma is a sign of life, and it also is electricity conductor. And so there's the potential of, electromagnetic fields that are also, so it feels like it's so much more than just like, a rock hurling through space.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
So,
can be electrical impulses through the plasma as well.
wow.
I'm sorry. I wish I knew more.
Yeah.
Not as far as I got with that.
Yeah. Do you remember where you heard that from?
Mm-hmm. So Stefan Burns
Hmm.
was mentioned it, and I think he may have a whole episode on that. And he comes out with episodes like every single day. So there's a plethora of information available.
Okay.
But then when I wanted to know more, I just Googled it and got a hold of another podcaster who mentioned some things, but I didn't have enough time or bandwidth to verify what that guy was saying.
Yeah.
It seems like it takes a while, like for not being an astronomer or a geophysicist, it kind of takes a while to like know how to verify this information. Like, is it just some random podcaster saying a bunch of stuff? I usually like try to get a few sources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks again for your personal interest in sharing it with us.
Yeah.
I'm curious if there's anyone who hasn't spoken. No, I guess, yeah,
No,
everyone
everybody.
with us.
Yeah, I looked at that. I just looked at that.
Yeah, great.
Everybody has participated in the conversation.
How cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Jump in, Natalie. No, you're saying bye?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
Oh,
Bye.
It's been great.
bye, Natalie. Thank you for coming. All right.
Well, let's see. Let's do just kind of a vibes check. Does it feel complete or we could take a moment to, tune in again like we did before in person.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Tune into 3i Atlas, you mean?
Yeah. Amanda, do you
Yeah.
feel like you'd like to guide us in that, or do you feel up for that?
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Totally. Love to. Yeah. So just invite us all to let's center back into our hearts. And through our hearts, feel our connection with the all that is. And I don't know if you hear that, that's my cat too. So Cosmo is with us. Um, it just through our connection with all that is. Let's see if we can locate in our awareness where this being that we call Three-Eye Atlas lives. And then we connect with this being through our own openness and curiosity. Allowing it to give us any message that it wants for us to receive. Then you've received any messages. And thanking Three-Eye Atlas. Sending love through the connection that we share. And if it feels appropriate, coming back into the room. Sharing any messages, any information, any feelings that you received.
What I received was that it's here to help raise the vibration of the solar system, including the Earth. I don't know if it was a message or a feeling. It's like I felt this streak of very high vibrational light streaking through the solar system and lifting everything up.
Thank you, Kent.
Yeah, thank you.
I got
Anybody
something to
else?
share too. I got a reminder about Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga was mentioned earlier, and it's like, you know, kind of seen as a time of darkness, evolutionarily, like the sort of the opposite of like an enlightenment time. It's like when everything's veiled. And one of the things that's beautiful about that kind of a time is that, or like this kind of a time, is that all of the work that is done behind such a heavy veil makes us that much stronger. Like it's like putting on double or triple weights in the weight room, and like all the lifts of faith and love and like service that are done. Yeah. And when it's when it's so much harder to remember faith and love and kindness and oneness, means that we've gotten that much stronger in it, than like, and if we're here to do the work in space-time that we can't do in time-space, like, yeah, anyway, make good use of the heavyweights, like keep working your faith, keep reaching for, yeah, oneness. That's what I got.
Oh, I love that. We all got a powerful Kali Yuga workout. Yeah.
Bring on the age of Aquarius.
Mhm. Anybody else got anything from tuning into it?
No, I just had, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I had just a phrase that popped in immediately. It was just, I am here. I'm here for you. That's what it was. I'm here for you. You being the collective.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like I asked Three Eye Atlas, what is the message that you have for my greatest good and the greatest good of all? And it was, I am here for you. So I resonate with that. I believe that's in my heart. That's an appropriate message.
Yeah, that sounds similar to what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Just received the message that it was here to help us with forgiveness.
Yeah.
It was just a very general, in a very general sense, to help us with forgiveness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beautiful. We still have more Three Eye Atlas energy to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A week from now, it'll be the closest to Earth.
Yeah. As we're moving into the solstice.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Were you going to say something, Diana? Looked like maybe you were leaning in.
Oh, just sharing after Amanda shared about the message of forgiveness, and the feeling I got when I was tuning in was just this really strong feeling of peace. So I'm assuming that that strong feeling of peace comes after all of that great forgiveness.
Right. Josh? Thank you, Diana.
I had a question. I don't know. I believe the 3I in the name stands for the third interstellar object to enter our solar system, or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
When was the second one? How long ago was that? Was it during any of your lifetimes? Do you remember
Yeah,
what?
Amanda has that. That was in 2017.
Yeah, so they've all happened recently. The first interstellar visitor that was recorded, and I mean, our understanding, our use of telescopes and everything goes back like decades and decades and decades. But the first interstellar visitor that we recorded was in 2017. The second one was in 2019. So that was only 6 years ago. And then now, so the last three have been in the last 10 years.
Hi, Caroline.
Wow, that's really interesting. I wasn't familiar with this more astrological, metaphysical, spiritual realm at those times. Was there a similar collective attention on the other two, 5 and 6 and 8 years ago.
I don't know
There's
either.
quite a bit of attention on Oumuamua in 2017.
Hmm.
You know, people were saying that it was speeding up or slowing down in a way that did not seem natural. There was very little about the second one.
Hmm.
I don't even remember hearing about the second one when it happened. But Oumuamua was talked about quite a bit. Not as much as this one, though.
Mm-hmm.
Regarding the 3i, I've heard a couple of people online interpret the 3i as the third eye. And, saying that they think it has some significance relating to our third eye chakra or awakening the third eye chakra. I don't know. Maybe it's just a coincidence that it's named 3i and it sounds similar to the third eye, but that's just an interesting tidbit.
Who named it?
The 3i Atlas.
Yeah.
So the 3 is because it's the third. The I is because it's interstellar. And Atlas stands for the, I don't know if it's an organization or is the place. I guess it's an organization in Chile that found it, which stands for the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. So ATLAS. So it's an acronym. So it's a kind of a boring name. So I guess that's what all comets are named after, who found them and the number or the year that they were found.
Hi, Ray. Welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
joining us. Yeah. Thank you for asking, Josh. Ray, you're joining us at the last minute here. But you're very welcome. Welcome to join us. Good to see you. All right.
Well, I think let's wrap it up with another brief meditation and prayer.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, let's find yourself connected again. However you do that. Drop in, connect. Let's offer gratitude to 3i Atlas for being so captivating, and so mysterious, and so also revealing, for revealing yourself to us. At this time, thank you, 3i Atlas. Whatever it is that you are, may we see Creator when we look at you. Thank you to those who have gathered in this virtual circle this evening as we lean into the winter solstice. Thank you for this practice of open-hearted discussion, salon. Thank you for benefiting one another, sharing our collective intelligence here. And once again, let's connect with the intention of all the benefit that has been gained, the light that has been sparked. May it ripple, may it radiate, may it support the entire Earth collective at this time and even beyond. Thank you again to Creator and all of our guides and allies who support us. Amen.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, West,
Yeah.
for that. You do
Yeah.
such a great job with that.
Well,
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
yeah, good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Woo, there was a heart explosion on my screen.
Yeah, lots of hearts. Look at that.
That's awesome. All right.
There we go.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, good night.
Oh, and also a reminder, Amanda will share that PDF on the Sharing the Path Telegram channel.
Bye.
I will. I'll do that right now. Okay. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, good
Thank
night.
you.
All right, everyone.
I love you all.
Love you all.
Love you too.